Uh, Good evening, everyone. Welcome to 360DigiTMG. And today, the interview preparation session is going on. And now, the interview preparation session is about the sequel. Just give me a second. I will. Yeah. So I hope everyone can able to see my screen. Then, so the today sequel, the today preparation session is about the sequel. So today I will. Yeah. Today I am going to explain some few interview questions about the sequel. Okay. So, what is the meaning of sequel, guys? So, what is the meaning of sequel? So, just give me a second. Uh, yeah. So the first question is, I can make it as a more zoom. Yeah, I think now the question is visible to you. So the first question is, so what is, so before explaining the sequel, before explaining the sequel, I want to explain some interview questions about the DBMS. What is the meaning of data? What is the meaning of database? And what is the meaning of DBMS? So DBMS. So these type of things basically have to know, and most of the interviewers also ask these type of questions. Okay, so basically I will explain the what is data. So what is data, guys? So the data, so what is data? The data means, so whatever the data means what it contains a some information, right? See, contains a information. So information means what? So what type of information? Data means what type of information it has. So like it has Excel files, text files, videos, audios. These are all coming under related to the data information. So data means what? A group of information which can easily processed by a system. Which can easily processed by a system, that we can call it as a data. So okay, sir, you said that data is Excel, text, video, audio, right? So what is the meaning of database? So that is the next question we have. So what is the meaning of database? So database means, so I already discussed about the data, right? So database, basically the shape of the database is cylindrical. Okay. So the shape of the database is cylindrical. So this is a cylindrical shape. This shape we can call it as a database normally. So what database will do? So it stores the information. So information means what? It's a data, right? Stores the data. So it stores the data. So okay, sir. Wherever the, so in this cylindrical shape, it will stores a lot of data. Okay. So it stores the information. So here the other question is, At what type it can store? So it stores the data. Okay, fine. So at what type? Which mean the format of the data. So it is table. So table. So here, suppose here the database is there, right? So here the database is there. In this database, we are storing the some information. So we are storing some data, right, in this database. So after storing this database, in which form we are storing? In the form of tables. Okay, it contains table contains rows and columns. Okay, so we are storing these data into the database. So that is fine. Okay, now the next question is, this is database, guys. We are storing a lot. This database can store a large number of tables. Where you can able to store a large number of tables. That place we can call it as a database. Okay. So this is the meaning of database. Now the next question is, so what is the meaning of DBMS, sir? Sir, the DBMS means, normally the DBMS means what? The full form of the DBMS means what? DBMS. So DBMS means it's a database management system. It's a database management system. So you know the meaning. You guys you all guys know about the meaning of database, right? So database means what? It contains a cylindrical shape structure, and it stores some data in the form of tables, right? So it stores some information in the form of tables. That is database. So what is the meaning of management system? So we are storing the data inside of the tables. We are storing the data inside of the tables anyways. So we have to we have to manage the space here. We have to manage the tables, right? In between the tables, in between the here we have to manage inside of the database. We have to manage and we have to store the tables in the form of structured way, right? So for this we have to use some management system. So here basically, while coming into the uh, professionally, we can say this database means what? It contains, it stores data. Okay, it stores data. While coming into the management system, so it stores programs. So program means what guys here? What is the meaning of program here? So program means it's a set of instructions. Set of instructions. So these instructions we are using to maintain, to maintain or to manipulate this database. Okay, to manipulate this database. So that is the meaning of database management system. So what is the actual process is happening inside of the database management system? So that I will explain you. So DBMS means there is a database, right? Normally this is a database. So in this database, uh, suppose there is a table. So it contains, this table contains 100 columnar data. This table contains 100 columnar data. So the process of DBMS is, so it's dividing. So if you store, for suppose there is a database, if you directly store this data table into the database, what will happen? You can face some complexities here. So how you are going to face that, I will explain. That are the backlogs. That is a one type of question here. So if you store these table 100 column data or 1 lakh columnar data into the database, what will happen? So you need only 2 columnar data information. So you need 2 columnar data information. If you store directly, if you store the 100 columnar data to the database, uh, after storing, you want to retrieve only 2 columnar information, not all the 1 lakh records information you don't need. Only in that 1 lakh records, you need only 2 columnar data information. So if you write a query, if you write a SQL query for these 2 columnar data, what will happen in the background? It will read all the queries, I mean all the columns. So it will read all the columns first, then whatever the columns you need, that columns it will represent in the output window, right? So here, the SQL will face, this database will face some complexities to retrieve the data, and it will consume some time, right? It will consume some time. And security issue, data redundancy. So that's linear. So up to now you clear, right? So here what we will do to reduce these type of issues, we are creating, I mean we are removing, we are converting these and 1 lakh columnar data into smaller tables, and there is no link between the tables, but we are converting the 100 columnar table into and we are storing that. Okay, so then after that we face type of backlogs, and the people introduced relational database. So who introduced this relational database? By call. Okay, so this person is introduced relational database previously. So this relational database is it's a good, it will perform very better than DBM. So that is the meaning of, normally that is the meaning of, that is the process of DBMS. Now we will look at fourth one. So what is the meaning of MS, and explain how it is performed better than DBMS. Okay. So normally hard DBMS means, I already explained the DBMS concept here. So here how the DBMS will work. So it contains a large table, 1 lakh columnar data into the smaller tables, right? So and it's storing these smaller tables into the database, right? And so here what is happening? So here we are facing some backlogs, right? Previously I explained when I'm explaining the DBMS question. So that time I explained the backlogs. So to reduce the backlogs, people that boycott is introduced this relational database. So here relational database, DBMS means what? Relational database management system. RDBS means a relational database management system. So in this word, there is a word relation. So it's making relation between the tables. Right? So this process we can call it as a RDBMS. And the question in this question explain how this perform better than DBMS, right? So if there is no linkage, there is no relation to DBMS, people introduce RDBMS. So now you guys are understand how the DBMS will work or DBMS will work, right, internally. So now the next question is, so what is data model? So there is a concept data model which is related to the DBMS. Okay. So not only DBMS, it is also related to the RDBMS. So I will explain you what is the data model. So okay, fine. Sir, we have 100 columnar data set. 100 columnar data. So we are dividing the table into the smaller tables and storing into the database, right? So this is a process normally this is a process of the DBMS. So here what is happening? So how the data model will comes into the picture? What is the process of, what is the meaning of these, and what is the work behind this data model, right? So you are storing the tables into the database. Yeah, you are storing the tables. So directly you will store the tables? No, you will store the tables directly. But what is happening here? Here, inside you are storing the tables, right? How it's structured inside of the database? How tables are structured logically? How the tables are structured internally in the database. So this data model will talks about these things. So how the tables are structured internally in the database. So the data model means this. It will tell this data model will tell you how the tables are structured internally in the database. So that is the meaning of the data model. So while after some time after data model introduction, the people are slowly categorized few types of structured databases. So now we will discuss what are the different types of structured databases we have. Okay. So what are the different types of structured databases we have that we can discuss now. What are the different types of structured databases we have, right? So here, so what are the different types of structures database? So here structured database is means what? Normally, I already explained the data model, right? So this structured databases is a data model. After some time, after a long time, after introduction of the data model, this data model has categorized into few structured databases. So what are the different types of structured databases we have? We can look into that. So the first database structured is hierarchical. hierarchical database. Second one is network database. Third one is relational database. And fifth one is object oriented database. And fifth one and the final one is it is newly introduced to the SQL databases, that is called entity relation or entity based relation database. Entity based relationship database. So these are the different types of structured databases we have. See, here I said a hierarchical database, here network database, so relational database, object oriented database. So here's hierarchical is like tree based structure. So in this concept, I will explain you one more question also. So relationship concept. So what are the different types of relationships we have in the SQL? So we have nearly four types of, nearly we have four. One is one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, and many-to-many relationship. Okay. So these are the different types of relationships we have. So here one-to-one means, so here table is there. So instead of the database, here database is there. This database contains a different a large number of tables or a large number of tables. Okay, like this we have tables. So here one-to-one means what? So it's a relationship. So one table will connect another table. So the one table will connect another table, that we can call it as a database. I mean that we can call it as a one-to-one relationship. So if one table will connect multiple tables, that we can call it as a one-to-many. And it is also called as a, when you compare these relationships to data models, uh, hierarchical is one-to-many or many-to-one. Network is many-to-many, and relationship is one-to-one. So if you compare these relationships to data models, these are the different type of structures, and these are the different type of relationships maintained inside of the databases. Okay. So the next question is, so what is normalization? So this is a very important question. So what is normalization? So what is normalization, guys? So normalization means, see, so there is a, so the normalization simply I will explain. So here some corrupted. So here some source to destination. So data is flowing from source to destination, right? Normally, if you take into the data engineering part, the data will flows from source to destination, right? So here, if suppose in the source, I mean in the starting point, the data is like corrupted data. I mean, it contains a incorrectness data, and it contains a incorrectness information, or it contains a null values, or it contains a data redundancy. I mean, duplicate values. So that type of data we can call it as a corrupted or a data redundancy something. So from source to destination, in between there is a normalization concept. So what this normalization concept will do? It will make this corrupted data to uncorrupted data. I mean, there is a redundancy before, it will make a unredundancy. It will remove the redundancy, it will give a good data or good table to finally it will give a good data, right? Uncorrupted data. So this is a normally it will convert a data, it will reduce the process to reduce the data redundancy, that we can call it as a normalization. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, fine. You explained this normalization. So in normalization, there is a one more thing. So that is normal forms. Normal forms. So what is the meaning of normal forms, guys? So normalization, there is a normal forms. Normally normal forms categorized into five. So one is 1NF. NF means normal form, guys. 2NF, 3NF, BCNF. So here, see, right? Previously there is a monkey generation is there, right? First there is a gorilla, something gorilla, plus after that gorilla, small monkey, then monkey is becoming a human, right? So based upon the generation, the human behavior is changing and they are getting very powerful. The human mind is getting very powerful. So same like that, this normal forms also same like that. So if you thought this 1NF is a gorilla, whatever the knowledge gorilla have in 2NF, it will become 1NF plus a new feature, which means for gorilla they are adding a new feature. So this is an example, guys, for better understanding. Okay, no, don't tell this gorilla concept to your interviewer. So automatically they will say you to go off. Okay, don't tell like that. So please, so I am explaining the concepts very clearly to you. So 1NF plus new feature. So then it will become a monkey. So after 3NF, right? 3NF means it's a 2NF plus a new feature. This is human. So the next one is BCNF. BCNF, the full form of the BCNF is boycott. Boycott normal form. The other name of this BCNF is 3.5NF. Okay. So it will this 3NF plus new feature. So this will become after human. What is advanced one? Robo. You know the Robo movie, guys. You know the Robo movie, Rajnikant. Robo. It will become a Robo. Okay. So just joking. Now the next one is okay, sir. Normal forms completed. So these are the normal basic database concepts. In the database, there is a one more thing is what is denormalization. You guys know what is normalization. Now you guys have to know what is denormalization, right? So what is denormalization? So denormalization means it's a quite opposite process of the normalization. So which means what is the meaning of denormalization? Quite process of the normalization. Don't tell that it will make again it will uncorrupted data to corrupted data. That is wrong. So there is a for normalization means what? So it's converting data redundancy to, it will remove the data redundancy from source to destination file, right? So uncorrupted data, it will make a corrupted data to the uncorrupted data. So how it will make? So if it is a large table, it's converting a smaller table. So based on the some set of instructions, and it will remove that. So basically, normalization means it converting a larger table to the smaller tables and reduce the data redundancy. That is the thing of normalization. So denormalization means after process all process will done. So what it will do? It combining it will converting a smaller tables into the one larger table. Okay, so that is denormalization. So now 11th question. So the questions, what is SQL? So the database concept is completed, guys. Now we will look into the SQL concepts. So what is SQL? So what is SQL? SQL means it's a structured query language. It's a structured query language. It's a structured query language. So why we are calling it as a structured query? Structured. So we are using SQL. It is a one type of programming language. So we don't call it as a programming language. It is a query language. So we are using this SQL to maintain or to manipulate the databases. Okay. You have to give the instructions by using this SQL only. By using this SQL, you have to give instructions to the database to manipulate the databases. Okay. Okay. That is the meaning of SQL. So, two question. So, okay, you guys know SQL. So, what are the different types of tools we have? So, what are the different types of tools we have? We have so many different types of tools like DB2, SQLite 3, and it is a file-based system. So don't get there is no SQLite. It is a file-based system. So DB2, PostgreSQL, MySQL, and MS Server, Microsoft SQL Server. So these are the different types of tools we are using in for RDBMS. Okay. Now the second one is so now you guys know what are the different types of tools we are going to use for this SQL. So now the question is what is the meaning of commands? Explain their categories. Okay. So what are the different types of commands? Explain their categories. So we have different types of, normally what is the meaning of command, guys? So command is, so for example, there is a army, right? Or Indian army is there. So for this army, there is so many, one commander is there for too many soldiers. One commander is there. So commander means what? What is the role of the commander? What is the role of commander? So commander will give instruction automatically based on of commander instruction. They have to follow that commander words, right? So these soldiers have to follow the commander rules and regulations. I mean, what are the instructions soldiers getting from the commander? They have to follow that instructions, right? So basically, commander means what? What is the role of this commander? He will give instructions, right? So commands means it's a set of instructions. Okay, commands means it's a set of instructions. Now, set of instructions. So commands is categorized into 5 different types of languages. So this commander is like you don't know. In Indian army there is too many languages, is there, right? Too many in our India. The people know too many languages. So we don't know. The commander knows 5 different languages. Okay, commander knows 5 different languages. So commands, we have commands 5 different languages. So what are they? DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. So DDL means data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, transaction control language, data query language. So these are the 5 different languages we have. So in these, for DDL has different types of commands. For DML has different types of commands. For DCL has different types of commands. TCL has different types of commands, and DQL has different types of commands. So what are the different types of commands? This have DDL. So that I will explain you. So okay, basically you understand, right? So go through it once in just study, go through it, any SQL notes or anything, notebooks, try to refer these DDL languages, what are the different types of languages, like that. So then try to practice everything. Okay. So, okay, fine. So, okay. So DQL. So we will see, look into the DQL. So DQL means what? DQL means data query language. Data query language. So in this data query language, we have only one command. So that command name is select. So for what purpose we are using this select command? To fetch the table, to fetch the information from the database. To fetch the data or information from the database. Right? So this thing we can call it as a select command. So for example, if you want to write a query, so how we can able to write a query? Select start from table name. So here select means what? I mean here star means what? Select is a command. So we are telling that select means fetch. We are giving the command fetch the data from the table. So what type of there is a table is there? So what columns? What are the data? How many columns? How much data we have to collect? Star means what here? It will select all the columns in the table. So it will select all the columns in the table. From which table you have to provide a table name. So this is selecting all the columns from which table. some other table. You can give any name. If you store some data into the table with your name, you can store, you can give your name here. It will retrieve the data. So normally that is the thing, that is the meaning of DQL. Okay, data query language. So now, so I said different types of languages, right? DDL, DCL, DDL, DCL, DML, and TCL, and DQL. So I already discussed DQL. So now the next question is DDL. DDL. DDL is data definition language, right? So, for what purpose? If this DDL has different types of commands like create, drop, truncate, alter. So these are the commands we have under this DDL. So for what purpose we are using this DDL? That you have guys have to know. So there is a table. So there is a, for example, uh, so there is a database. So in this database, there is some set of tables, right? So there is some large tables we have. So I want to apply this DDL in this table. So if you apply these commands into the table, what will happen? It will change the structure of the table. So if you apply all DDL on all the tables in the database, so what will happen? Automatically, the database structure also will be changed, right? So to change the database structure, what are the commands we are going to use? Create, drop, truncate, alter. So these are the commands we are using to change the structure of the table, structure of the database. Okay. So while coming into the DCL, so data control language. So data control language. So for what purpose we are using a data control language? So in this data control language, we have, just give me a second. So data control language. So this data control language, what this data control language will do? So this data control language, normally the process of data control language is, so suppose there is a server. So this server has some, this server contains some databases, server 1 and server 2. So server 2 also has some databases. So these database contains large tables. Okay. So these database also have some tables, but there is no information. So for server, other side of the server, we have database administrator. Database administrator. So normally what will happen? So these database in server to database administrator needs data from server 1. So server will accept the request from server 2, and the server 2, server 1 will give data to the server. Server 1 will give data to the server. Okay. So here they will give some when he is requesting the data, he will put some instruction, I mean set some limit to the database. Yeah, sorry guys. I think I got some issues, mic issues. That's why. Here, here normally what happened here, some process is happening in between the server and server 2. So server one will transferring the data. With this server one put some limits on this data, right? So which means it's controlling the data flow of data. So to control the data flow, this DCL is what DCL will this DCL will do to control the data control. I mean, so to control these, we have two commands that we can call it as a revoke and grant. So these are the two commands to execute this DCL language, right? Okay, guys. Almost all I have discussed these 16 questions. So these are the questions is very important to your interview point of view. So try to practice more interview questions, and that will very helpful to you. Okay, guys. Yeah. Bye. Goodbye, everyone.